So there is two aspects of the path. The first one is knowing, second one is doing. So both of these aspects are valid aspects, good aspects, and we should not abandon either of them. We should not abandon the knowing aspect of the path, cultivating consciousness, cultivating awareness of what is, waking up to the way it is, seeing truth, as well as the aspect of cultivating or doing things. And very often people think that when you're mindful, when you're just present and aware, then you kind of sacrifice doing. You become sort of a vegetable that doesn't have any goals or ambitions in life, that doesn't know where to go, what to do, because I'm present all the time. What about planning? What is going to happen to me if I'm present all the time? If I'm just here mentally, just with this step fully. So I think that it kind of stops doing when you're present. When you know what you do, somehow there's a feeling that the doing stops, but that's not true. It doesn't stop as much. For example, if you're looking at your heart beating, it doesn't also stop. Also, if you're aware of it, or your lungs breathing, they don't stop to breathe, even if you're aware of that. So it's not about stopping anything. It's not about kind of becoming a certain way. More about knowing the way it is. That's the aspect of knowing. So for example, if there's anger, if there's frustration, impatience, you might have felt impatience maybe just now sitting in meditation. Maybe you've been waiting for the end of the session. It's normal. Maybe the body hurts, you don't like it. Then you just receive it the way it is. You pay attention to the way it is. See, for example, having pain in the body is like this. And then you can look at that. You can get to know the nature of pain. You can observe pain, understand it. And upon understanding it properly or deeply enough, you're able to let go of it. You're able to bring your attention away from it, back to the task at hand. Slowly, gradually forgetting your body. For the duration of your meditation session. Going into deeper and deeper states. They're very blissful, very happy. And because we give up all these burdens that we have, the burden of past and future, the burden of the senses, being constantly attached to the senses. These are all burdens. They're all things that keep us kind of trapped in this experience, in this very physical experience, which of course is like a posture. It's constantly changing from good to bad and from bad to good again, like your posture right now. It doesn't get better continuously, does it? It would be great. You just only thing you need to do is just sit down and you feel better and better and better and better and better just automatically. But that's not true, is it? Instead, what's true really is you're feeling worse and worse and worse until you need a change. So that's the kind of that's why I say it's a burden. The senses are okay. We have them now. We are in this body to experience this kind of world of sense. But we cannot find any satisfaction, any lasting peace within the realm of senses. It's very popular nowadays. Even many people would say that real happiness is within. It is not in the body, it is not in other people, it is not in the surrounding world, is it? It is within. But what that really means is it is something that is independent of senses, independent of happenings, independent of things that continuously change. They're subject to change. So only by, this is maybe foreign stuff when you hear that, but only by really letting go of that, really practicing meditation, you will notice that slowly when you stop feeling your body, there's great peace. Feels fantastic. Feels very light. When you stop getting caught up in future and past, it feels fantastic. It feels beautiful. And then you will understand what I'm talking about. That moment when there is no future for you, no past for you in your experience, there's really truly just this moment right now. It's very nice. There's no problem there. No problem ever. If you're fully present, you're not suffering any possible future scenario. You're not suffering what just happened or what happened a few years ago. And also then you don't tend to complete or repeat what you have always been doing to yourself and to other people and to this world. Kind of habitual patterns, right? Like when someone says something that you have to react a certain way with liking or disliking it. You have no choice because that's the way you've been conditioned. Hearing a certain thing, you like it or you dislike it. It's not because you choose to, it's because you have to. There's not much choice. Seeing certain things, smelling certain things, you have to react a certain way. It's not a choice really. It becomes only a choice as soon as there is mindfulness. You recognize yourself in this moment. You see yourself. Now you have a choice. How do I react to that? If there is no mindfulness whatsoever, you just react. Someone says something that you don't like, and then you have to not like it. And then you have to react. And then a whole rest comes out of that. So when we cultivate this knowing quality, it helps us in life not only to experience deeper or blissful states, also it helps us to recognize truth, to really let go of suffering, both in action and in non-action. There's a sense of letting go, simply knowing what is happening. A way to put it would be you're not reborn into an event. What would be a possible event that you could be reborn into? Maybe frustration. If there is frustration, it arises, it comes, because there are causes for it to arise. So frustration arises, following its nature. And suddenly you feel not like there is frustration there, it just has arisen. And knowing that it is impermanent, you don't bother too much about it. But you feel more like, I am frustrated. It's almost like you become the frustration. Now that is called rebirth. You've just been born into a state, into an impermanent state, just like your body really. Your body also, it doesn't last. Your frustration also, it doesn't last. But while we are in it, we don't know that it won't last. We feel like that's all there is. Right now there's frustration. I'm frustrated right now. I hate this scenario. And so that's all your experience is in that moment. Frustration. And you're looking out of frustration at a frustrating world, of course. How could you see a world that is not frustrating looking out of frustration? It's impossible. You can only see frustrating things because that's where you are looking from the frustration. You're not looking at it, you're not seeing it, you're looking out of it. Maybe you don't like something that I say. You say, what is Tobi talking about? It doesn't make any sense. It's rubbish, It's very negative. It's very negative thing. Whatever, and then you're looking out of negativity. Sure, you see negative things you don't like. It's simple. So whenever you see something in life, like frustrating people around you, it's not because those people are actually by themselves and their own power frustrating. It's because you are looking from frustration. And so that's why we need knowing. So the frustration is something that can be made known, it can be seen. Whoa, frustration. Right now, there's frustration. That changes the game. Now, knowing that frustration doesn't last, you have the upper hand. You don't have to act it out and bother other people with it. You can simply let it go. Drop it. Why bother with it? It's just another passing state. But we don't see that it is passing as long as we're in it. Because when we're in it, so when we're taking it personal, it is the most serious and heavy thing ever. And we wouldn't think that the frustration is a burden because it feels it's me. How can I be a burden? We wouldn't even think that way. But we would recognize the frustration as a burden as soon as we can drop it, as soon as we can let go of it. And we see, oh wow, it's quite peaceful. I don't have to buy into my own frustration. I can just leave it. And then, well, it's like if you're not picking up a hot coal, you're not getting burned. It's that simple. And it's great knowing that. Well, I don't have to burn myself with that one again. I can just leave it. Nice. You have some power now. This is a process that empowers you. It's not a process that makes you more dependent on stuff. Like, I have to do this because someone said to do that. Or it's written in that text, and it's an old text, so it must be true. It's not that kind of thing. It's a direct realization that when you see what is going on, then how can you be what is going on? Because you're in a seeing position. It is your object. It appears to you. How can you be it? If the frustration appears to you, how can you be frustrated? It's not possible. In order to be frustrated, you would have to forget your position, your true position, and dive into the frustration, and then look out of the frustration. Of course, the frustration cannot see itself. So that's why you cannot tell frustrated people, hey, look at yourself, you're totally frustrated. No, I'm not. Sometimes, because I teach a lot of meditation all the time, and then my wife, when we're in the car and we're driving together, and then Pan is criticizing the way I drive. Some of you might know that. Then, so I feel irritated by that. It's like, why does she always criticize the way I drive? Why does she not praise it? So there's a certain amount of frustration towards this kind of activity, and then she would recognize that and tell me, are you suffering? Because I'm always talking about it. We need to let go of suffering, and then she would look at me and she goes like, oh, are you suffering? And that doesn't help. It makes it worse. It makes it, no, I'm not suffering. But of course I am. I am already, of course. But cannot see. We cannot see it in that moment because we are that suffering. We're reborn. There is birth into pain. And pain cannot see itself. It can only see a painful world. Like your eyes, and I always say that, cannot see themselves. They can only see stuff around them. Okay? That's why awareness is really important. It's all about that. It's all about waking up to what is. You can also call it honesty. Being able to honestly see what is happening right now within me. What is going on? And that includes the attitude of the one who looks. It's often not caught. Maybe you look at yourself and you're like, let's see what's happening within me right now. Oh, there's some jealousy. Psst, why is there jealousy? I've been meditating since years, and what's the jealousy doing there? Now you're looking from aversion at jealousy. And you do not notice the aversion, of course. So watch out for attitudes. How do you look at yourself? Not just looking at yourself. Looking at yourself, we can all do that, right? So look at yourself. And then you look at yourself and you start criticizing yourself. Now you do not see one thing, the critic. You see only a self that is worth to be criticized. There's a lot of things about me that don't really seem to be quite nice, actually. I'm a really messy person, it seems. To whom does it seem so? Well, to a critic. And the critic doesn't see itself. It only sees things worthwhile criticizing. That can be yourself, that can be other people. The way you see yourself, the way you see other people, not different. Depending from where do you look? From anger? From happiness? From kindness? Now that is a skillful way of looking at things from the view of kindness, from a viewpoint of kindness. This is actually beneficial. Seeing, for example, that right now in this room, we're all like tiny little human beings that sit together and pretend to be adults. And pretend to know a lot of stuff, and we had a lot of experiences, and we're very important also. Sitting here in the room, everyone very important. There's me, and then there are the others around me. And of course, I'm the most important one, and all the others, they are kind of secondary additions to me that relate to me in some way. Like, how do they think? What do they think about me? Well, most people are not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves constantly. And you know it from yourself. Most of the time wondering, what are others thinking about me? How am I doing right now? Should I change my posture or not? This is embarrassing. Maybe I shouldn't move. Should I move? Should I scratch? Should I not scratch? Why is it so itchy? When does he ever stop talking? All that kind of stuff. We're constantly absorbed in ourselves like that. And so ourself is the only thing we really know from. And so the only thing that can appear to us is a world that is a mirror image of ourself. Basically, a world that goes into resonance with ourselves entirely. So you see people that you feel are frustrating, they resonate with your frustration. That's why they are frustrating. You see beautiful people, they resonate with your kindness. You see a lot of cute human beings everywhere. They're struggling and trying to... They resonate with your kindness. You're not seeing threats around you because there's no fear. See, that's how it works. The way we see the world appears within us, does it even appear outside of us? The way the world appears within us is directly corresponding to what it appears to. What kind of emotion, what kind of state that you're in right now. Knowing that, you can make use of it. Talking a little bit about healing your body, for example. Or supporting healing your body. It is very important for your body. It learns, you could say, your cells learn from the way you feel. What your emotional state predominantly is. So if you want to support your body's healing mechanisms at all, from the mental perspective, you want to feel good. You want to feel whole. Grateful for your health that's already there. Instead of constantly dwelling on what doesn't work, what could be optimized. Because then that's your attention. And who would be looking at what has to be optimized? What kind of emotion would be looking for something to be optimized? It's the critic again, the inner judge. Wow, no six-pack yet. Something's wrong with me. So I need to wear a t-shirt that says six-pack coming soon. Or, wow, I'm not intellectual enough. I don't know enough. What are others thinking about me? That is not the right way to feel if you're intending to feel healthy. If you want to feel healthy, feel healthy. And really feel it. Imagine you were completely healthy right now. Or if that is difficult for you, at least feel that you are healing with every day a bit more. Can you enjoy that? Now, it doesn't matter if you're actually healing or not. But what matters is your joy. And it's a very specific joy. You've heard of the placebo effect, right? That's what you're making use of right here. For the brain, it doesn't matter. The brain cannot distinguish between something that you imagine and something that is actual fact reality. So whether whether you are surrounded by a light of love that heals you or not, it doesn't make a difference for the brain. It doesn't make a difference for your physical chemistry and the way your cells are reproducing. No difference. The brain doesn't know that you're just imagining it. That's pretty powerful stuff, and you can make use of it. You can support your healing process with that. When you're in love, it's very hard for you to get sick, to get ill. But when you're already sad and depressed, very easy. Just a little thing and you're totally ill again. Immune system is weak because you're in a very difficult emotional state. You're challenged. When you're stressed, there's physical response when you're stressed. You can enter a fully blown panic attack even though there's no threat around you. Nothing there. There's no wild animal, you're not attacked by a tiger, there's nothing. It's happening only because you're imagining something. Like, what if there's a conspiracy, a government conspiracy? And then you lie down in your bed and then you think that there are people that are watching you right now. And you freak out about it. Oh my God. There are evidences that I'm being watched. My neighbors are watching me. Everyone is watching me. Then you become paranoid, and it has real physical consequences. Changes your chemistry in the brain, the neuronal networks in your brain, the way you operate, the way you function in life. It has big impact. The way you feel has big impact on the way you live your life. If you know that, you can make use of it. And if you have mindfulness, you have a fair chance to actually make use of it. Then it's not just an intellectual game. But each time you wake up, you become present in this moment. You see yourself, you see you're not aligned with a positive emotion, with a constructive emotion. You can then create one. And here's where it comes to the doing during the path. You want to handle your mind, your speech, and your body in such a way that it supports the knowing and that it supports life and it supports beauty within you, without you. Sure, it is not always possible. You cannot always do it. There's very difficult circumstances that say, I know, but do your best. And get better. This is a training that is worthwhile undertaking. And is very important, just as important as training your body, if not more important. Because you're training that what runs the body, what makes the body turn left and right. You can polish your car all day long, but the car is worth nothing without a driver or fuel. So you want to take care of the driver. If the driver is sick, what do you want to do with a polished car? Your mind is the driver. It makes the car work. It makes the car go places. It makes the body go places. You take care of the driver, body is going to be fine. It's going to be in good places, meeting good people. Because things go into resonance with you depending on what kind of emotional state you're vibrating in right now. We have this habit, this tendency to observe what does not work. So watch out for that one. So you might now be kind of feeling good and happy, all great after the meditation class. You walk out and it's like, wow, that was great. I'm going to vibrate in a happy frequency now. And then so you go out and you vibrate in a happy frequency. And the next thing you see is someone cutting you off on the street and showing you the middle finger. And you're like, yeah, but I've been vibrating in a happy frequency. Why does that happen? And now watch out, because now your frequency changes again. It goes, because your attention went to this in a negative way, and because we are so used to dwelling on things in such a negative way with resistance and aversion, that we build up again around that. It's like we're latching, it's almost like pain is desperate to stay nourished. So it latches onto every opportunity that it can get to feed itself. Well, that guy cut me off, can you believe it? And then you stick to that, and you can talk about it for the rest of the car going to its destination. Immediately let it go, and that you can only do that if there's knowing again. So let it go, then do something, replace it with kindness. For example, reflect. That guy probably in a hurry. Nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wants to be miserable. So the guy is the same way. It's just a product of conditioning, the way he acts. I don't know him. He just cut off me. I don't know why he cut off, what the reason is. All I know that just happened. Can I love him anyways? How many times have I? That helps me. Have I probably cut off people unknowingly? I just felt like I'm just going left, and I didn't know that I was stepping on the toes of someone else. How many times did you step on other people's toes without knowing it? How many times, because you entered the room, other people felt frustrated because you were doing something in a certain way? Totally harmless for you. You didn't think anything bad. But people were annoyed about you. And so I'm annoyed about other people too. Why? Because I'm a human being. Can I forgive myself for it? Is it okay to be a human being? Yes, it's all right. It's okay to be frustrated, no problem. Can I let go of it now? Yes, yes. I'm taking care of myself. I let go of my frustration. I don't cultivate it. I don't harbor it. I let go of it. I make effort to let go. And then replace it with kindness, compassion, understanding. We're all the same. We're all just trying to our abilities as our conditioning allows. It's all we can do. It's all we can do. Sometimes what do we expect? So much from other people. One time I actually went on this kind of meditative high. I was very proud of my meditation and feeling like really advanced. And I went to my teacher, and at the same time I felt like, oh, everyone around me is really stupid. Like they're so unconscious, everyone is so unconscious, you know. I was like walking around with this attitude, feeling me being really conscious, and everyone else is like lost in their phones, like not paying attention. Look at them. Like this. And so I went to my teacher and I told him, and I said, you know, I feel like everyone is so unconscious around me. It's terrible, you know, like, what should I do? How can I help them? Something like that. And he's, yeah, well, I'm just human. So then he said, well, are you perfect? And I said, no. And then he says, oh, why do we expect other people to be then? It's very simple, right? You have heard it before and so on. It's very simple, but in that moment it had a great impact on me. It was a big part of my learning also. We're all dealing with our stuff like that. We all have our things going on, right? All of us, different kinds of things. As for me at that time, it was this. Didn't last very long, and it was a learning step. What is it that you struggle with right now? It's your opportunity, it's your chance to grow. Anything you struggle with. Basically, it's an opportunity, it's a chance. It's a door, if you want. A door that enters to consciousness, to knowing, to awareness, wakefulness, to understand yourself and understand how to let go of suffering. How could you do it if you don't struggle? How could you find peace if there wasn't struggle? Impossible. In fact, when there is struggle in your life, that's when peace is closest. The light of yourself is so close that it hurts. So it's not about giving up doing. Do things skillfully. And every doing comes from the mind. It comes from the doing mind. It comes from intention. What's your intention like? That's the quality of your action. If you're wondering about whether you're doing the right thing or not, what's your intent? Is it pure? Are you honest about it? Do you really see it as it is? Look really well. What's my intent right now? Why am I really doing this? That's mindfulness, knowing, seeing it clearly, letting it go. If it is a negative intent, replace it with a positive intent. Train the ability of kindness. Train the ability of gratefulness, gratitude, energy, concentration. Cultivate radiance. All that can be cultivated. It can be done by you. You can do it. And it's a good thing to do. Contributing to this world in a positive way. Letting go of your pain, that's one gift you can give to the world. The other gift is doing what's good. Maybe not say doing what's good. Doing what leads to happiness for yourself and others. What leads to well-being. Can you always know what leads to well-being? No. But you can do your best. Maybe sometimes you give a present, a gift to someone, and that person, you give a chocolate to someone, and the person says, sorry, I'm diabetic, or I don't like chocolate. Doesn't really matter, it's the gesture. The gesture counts. The other person will feel that. So we cannot be perfect, but we can be kind. And loving and caring, taking care of ourselves and those around us. With that, if you take care of yourself, you automatically take care of everyone around you. If you're kind to yourself, you're automatically kind to the world. Because the world appears within you. And if it appears in a kind, allowing space, it's good. Very helpful. Okay, so I think it's enough for today. Thank you very much for coming today. Are there any questions?